Hi, I'm Bill Snodgrass. Welcome to this tutorial video. This is the PortriatPro 18 plugin for Photoshop. And I'm just going to work through an image that I want to prepare for Instagram and just use the PortriatPro plugin to do the work to get it ready to go, make it look really nice. So I've already cropped the image into a square size, and I've got I used the healing brush to take out a couple of large blemishes that were on the forehead. So the first thing I'm going to do once I get kind of a starting place, this time I'm going to duplicate the layer, and I'm going to call it PortriatPro. I'm going to call my layer what I'm doing, PortriatPro 18, and then a lot of times I will name it like version 1 so that I know that if I go back and do another edit, I can duplicate this and do another edit to the image from the original. I go to my filters. So I'm going to my filters. I'm going down to Anthropics, and I go to Portrait Pro. And I have to wait for the plugin to launch. The first thing it's going to do is try to identify faces in the image. And it should be fairly easy on this one because it's a prominent picture of a face. And now it wants me to identify is it a female, male, or a child. It is a female. I've said in other videos the most important thing to do right off the beginning is get all the control points in the place where they belong, to get them as accurate into the right parts of the body. So I'm on a laptop today, and I have the trackpad. In order to zoom on the trackpad, I'm doing a 2-finger up, 2-finger down, and it is zooming. If I'm on this side, I can click and drag the image around. If I'm on this side, clicking will try to pick a control point and allow me to move it. In version 17, the control point logic was good, but I really feel like they have improved it greatly in 18. It still is a little fuzzy about eyebrows in my opinion, but it's not that difficult to move them around and get them where they belong. This is kind of the controls where the arch is, this one here, and this controls kind of that bottom inside corner. I'm going to zoom in on the mouth, and I feel like those are all in good places. The placement of the control points is vital for getting the logic of the program to work the way you want it. It has applied a default preset to the image, and this is what it came up with. I'm going to go back to the presets, and I am going to just kind of scanning through the different presets, any of these that I feel like are the way I want to go. I'm going to do no sculpt, and then go back to controls, and it's turned off face sculpting. I'm going to go back into face sculpting and apply very few of the things. I don't like to change the face shape, just kind of out of regard to the model, especially if the model is the client. They're not particularly interested in becoming different versions of themselves, and so I will leave the mouth alone. One thing the face shape will do is account for camera angle sometimes, and it has a lens correct if you're using like a super wide angle lens. And I think I'm gonna leave the hair alone, and that's it. I just want to enhance the eyes just a little bit, but it's just a little boost, and then plumping the lips a little bit. Camera angle, the way her head was a little bit tilted down, and it doesn't really do justice to her lips. Skin smoothing is one that's a big deal to me. You can see, even though after I did use the healing brush a little bit, there are still some imperfections in the skin, but we don't want the skin to be like painted on with an airbrush. that looks unnatural. So it has taken like some of these larger blemishes and has gotten rid of those. And the only thing I might do is the bags under the eyes. So we have all of these different controls here. And so then in the around eyes, there is lighten eye bags. And then I'm going to smooth the skin there a little bit as well. Just a little bit more enhancement on that. I'm going to turn makeup off. I think I'm just going to do one thing on makeup. There is a lot of things that you can do with makeup, but I'm going to just do the eyebrow pencil just to sort of smooth in some of the imperfections in the eyebrow. And it's just basically in that shape where we had picked eyebrow. It adds in what would be the effect of an eyebrow pencil. Occasionally I will do a little bit of a lipstick if the lips need a little saturation or something, but there's another place in the application where the lips can be more saturated. I really like sharp eyes, and I will go to the eye sharpening and bring that up. If I take it off entirely, you can see that when it's completely off, they're not bad. It was a nice lighting when we shot this, but I just like to pop the eyes a little bit. And iris, I can either brighten it or darken it. I kind of like to brighten the iris a little bit. I just feel like that gives a little more life in the eye. There are two catch lights in this picture already. There is a catch light remover or adder, and they call it add reflection, and then you have different types of reflections that you can add. And then how opaque do you want the reflection to be? I am going to pick one small dot, one medium dot, and from the one medium dot selection that puts it here, I'm going to make it 100% opaque so I can easily see it, and I'm just going to move the catch light into the place where there already is a catch light. And the way to do that is by nudging the reflection. I'm not going to leave it at 100%. So I'm working on the left eye. The left and right is relative to the screen and not the model. So the screen left. And I'm going to move that left eye vertically. I just want it to add to what's already there. I like to try to have realistic edits as much as I can. Now I've just added this to, and now I'm going to turn the opacity down. Until it has a enhancing but natural appearance. And if you're really trying to enhance, probably somewhere in the, I don't know, above 50 and below 80 or 85 or something is going to give you that. I'm going to turn off the controls for eyes. I'm going to call that done. And I'm going to go to skin and lighting. This is a setting that is profound in Portrait Pro. It does a huge amount, and it will make it either look really nice or really, really fake. And I took this picture with window light coming in from the side, and I'm going to move the Portrait Pro window light to where the natural light came from. I just feel like that is the best approach. Contrast is the amount of light that's coming in, and I'm trying to go for a sort of a glamorous look. I'm going to put that in the middle. Again, this is a feature that just how you light the picture profoundly changes the way it looks. So I'm going to make the contrast a little high. Modeling light and fixed light are the settings that introduce that light in. Again, I go for more of the subtle rather than the extreme. In fixed lighting, extreme fixed lighting, it ends up looking ridiculously painted. So I try just a little, just add a little in, and then I'm going to go back and revisit my contrast and try to find a place where I like the effect. Portrait Pro also allows that I can put more shading in. I can also enhance the cheekbones, which I feel like they're fine. I'm going to put in this left shadow. I'm going to boost that just a little bit. That's the extreme version. I'm going to boost that left shadow. And then there's another setting that would add kick on this side, which the right kick would be that bright light. I just don't feel like this picture needs that. Smoky eyes is to darken the eyes. Turn that off. Pout is a little bit of light under, a little bit of shadow under the lip. And if I turn that way up, not, but if I did, that's what it would look like. And then this light is a section of light that shines on the model's nose. Let me turn that off. I rarely use skin color. I can change the tone and the texture of the skin. I rarely use that, and I'm not going to use it in this case. I moved my light. How did that happen? Window light. I'm going to close the setting. And then I've done eyes, nose, and mouth. Here is, I'm not going to do it, but if I wanted to saturate the lips, I could do that here. The default setting already did that. That's probably why I don't need to do it. And lastly, I'm not going to mess with the hair. Picture, I'm going to vignette this. I used to say that I didn't really like their vignette tool, but I've gotten to the point now that I think I do like the vignette tool. So this is the current vignette on maximum amount. So obviously I need to move that around until I get it in the right place. And I do that with the vertical and horizontal. In order to move a vignette and get it in the right place, make it maximum so you can see where the boundaries are. And then you can adjust the radius. That's the wrong slider. Adjust the radius until the important features are no longer blacked out. And then set the amount of the vignette that you want last. Hardness is if I go back to maximum again, hardness is soft, hard. It's how much fade is there in that vignette, in the between the untouched and the blacked out. So this is the original, and this is the final. There is overall tone for the whole picture, and you can do quite a bit of adjustments there. Temperature, tint, exposure. I just don't feel like I need to change any of those. The only thing I'm going to probably do before I put this on Instagram, I'm going to probably go back into Photoshop. I'm going to use context aware delete and get rid of this, whatever this is, a corner of a desk, and that's it. I'm gonna probably run this up. I'm gonna just make it a little less of that modeling light and a little less of fixed light, and I'm gonna call it. The next button will bring me up options. I can enhance another face in the photo, which there is not one, or I can go back to Photoshop. Now it's going to take this back in onto the layer that was active when I started the process, and so that is the before and that is the after. It is a fairly true to the person rendering. It's enhanced, obviously, and but not so much that you don't recognize the person. So the skin lighting does a huge amount to sort of drive that in towards the glamorous. So use that with caution and make sure that you know what you're doing. I would show this to her if she were the client. She just actually I have a model release to do tutorials and things with this. But if she were the client, I would show it to her and say, which of these versions do you like? And then I would use her preference before I went in and did the rest of whatever the photo session was. All right, so that's it for this episode. I'm gonna clean this up, and there will be an after video final version that'll have, I will have gotten rid of this guy up here. All right, hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hope it helped you to find your way through PortriatPro plugin. I use it a lot for a lot of portraits. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down in the description. I do, besides the tutorials, I do life lessons and motivational videos and some other occasional types of videos as well. Some things are just for fun. That's all for this episode. I will see you in the next one.